Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As soon as we start this program, you could pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything, any trending issue, whether it is international, regional, or local, and you can introduce any trending issue. The number to call is 442-0175. We encourage you to share our program, particularly in light of the limitations still of the radio station. We are on YouTube and Facebook. So share our program and encourage. There's a lot of individuals who normally listen to the program, but because of the challenge with the frequency, they're not able to get it. Some of them have phones in their hand, but they don't know the technology. No concerted effort has been made in this country to help people with the technology. Government is going breakneck speed to digitalize or to computerize or have a paperless society, while they practically abandon the majority of the people in the country. They are not literate where the technology is concerned. And no program has been established to assist them. I have some people who have been in town with me long, and they don't even deal in on WhatsApp. They can't handle it. You know, it's unfortunate and sad, but I guess they are in the departure lounge and they are no longer very important to our society. You can give me a call. This is the second week, I believe, that school has reopened and the children are going to school happy and excited. And we enter in an environment that don't have the culture of producing success stories. The schoolhouse does not produce success stories. They refine success stories. They hatch onto success story, but they don't produce it. So parents, you must be cognizant and aware of that. Just sending your child to school is not enough. You have to do more. We live in a society where almost everybody is religious. Even those that don't believe in God, they're religious too. Some of them believe in the devil. Some of them, when they're in trouble, they're calling on God. So you must pray for your children. Women in particular. When I speak about that, I speak about women. Why? 60% of our household are led by women. 60%. And a significant percentage of the household that are led by men, the men can squeak in the house. So you only look as if they're leading. So women, is your responsibility. And you are the vessel that accept the gift from God. You said yes. A lot of women throw the children. They don't accept it. They kill the children in the womb. But you accept those children. And you carry them in your womb, in your belly, in your abdomen for 9 months. Every time they move, you feel it. Every emotion, every pain. So you have a stronger bond with the child and a man. And some man, when you see they playing with child, it's not the child they're studying, you know. The woman they want. You must know that. It don't make sense with pretending. Man is a hunter. And man goes after the woman and he will do what it takes to get her. If he's going after a woman with children, he's nice to the children. But you, the woman, don't walk away. You have to be hungry for education for your child. It's the only way. All the prisons in the Caribbean are overpopulated. Every one of them. From Jamaica to Grenada. The majority of people in prison, the majority of people in jail did not have a good secondary school education. They did not exit school with the basic requirements to give them the competitive edge on the job market. Look at the amount of people in the mental institute. The majority of them in the mental institute did not have a decent education. The majority of people looking for jobs, those who are unemployed, 60% of them don't have the skills, the talents, the education, the right attitude to get the job. So there are jobs available on the market, but they can't get a job. We have to be aware of these things. We have to stop pretend. If you like your children, if you love your children, you must understand that you have to fix the pitch. Don't tamper with the ball, but fix the pitch. So when they go and bat, they're going to get a good pitch to bat on. The balls would not be awkward. It wouldn't be pitching up high and keeping low. It will be even. And they may be able to make runs. When your little children leave home, bless your children. Bless them. Pray for them in the morning and bless them. Encourage your children to pray in the morning and pray in the night. And have some gratitude for the meals they eat. Tell them pray before meals. You see, that will help your children understand that you struggle to provide the meals for them, so they must say thanks. Too much of our people growing up with no gratitude. As soon as they get a little success story, they let prosperity blunt the edge of gratitude. So you, the parents, if you could get the father on board, get him on board. But you is the one that responsible, women. Remember what Christ told the women in Jerusalem. He said, woman of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but for yourself and your children. If Christ could tell you that, imagine now. Your attention, your objective, your efforts have to be to produce children that competitive on the job market. Why? They're more likely to go to prison if they're not competitive. They're more likely to be out of a job if they're not competitive on the job market. They're more likely to get mental challenges. Right now we get sophisticated. We don't say mad again. We say they have mental challenges. They're more likely to get mad if they don't have the basic. They're more likely to sit down and smoke 9 weed a day. Not recognizing that the weed they're smoking are not natural herbs. They use preservative, formaldehyde, what is used to embalm people, and they use it in hospitals. They use formaldehyde to preserve weed, and our children smoking weed and saying they will get meditation. No, they will get sick. They're likely to get mad. It's not natural weed they're smoking. They're smoking weed with preservatives in it. You have to tell them that. It don't make sense pretending. Look around you in the communities and look at the quality of our males. Some of them don't even bother about women. Most of them don't have no woman. That doesn't mean they are not involved in sexual activity in the night. But you ain't seen them with a woman they call their own. 30, 40 years, 25 years. That can be good. You have so much of women today that are compelled to work. They work in security in the night. Imagine women with children have to be working in security in the night. And sometimes the man might be doing a little work. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, in your Galaxy Studio, I see you made a good suggestion to the people in authority that better they give farmers the check instead of this kind of with my role where people putting people in suspense. Like if a movie are showing, putting people in suspense, looking for the next episode. That you do the right thing by you tell them. I hope you didn't take that on board because all them extension officers know all those active farmers. They know all the active farmers on them. So if they could just put it in the extension officer hand and tell them to distribute that, it will be much easier for you. Because I keep going around. Look, no, I say they mention all farmers like all who look growers, but no, it's who get damaged. You have to take out. So I don't know. They just keep spinning around and see they get a dice right. Eh? Keep spinning. So I think they take your suggestion. That would be nice. Just give people the check because they know all the active farmers and give them the check and end up pay. This can open. Look at over. I want wait now for housing repair. Every time Nalma have to give the grants. I say Nalma have to give no grants for all you. That thing that every pass the government is responsible. Nalma have to move in when a disaster gone already. The government have to do that. So they don't spin them on the bush, spin them on the bushes. Now tell them you won't be able to give all the full help idea. But tell them Nalma already something yet. After 2 months, 3 months, none of the release something yet. So if I find too much up and down, I think they have to get straight. I don't know if you are leaders in the country or what, but somebody sit down and put it in the people's head right. Take care.
Yes, we have to acknowledge the fact that the government is incompetent. They are political juveniles, neophytes. They're incompetent. And to add insult to injury, they're bitter. This government started up by introducing a policy of restorative justice, establishing an arm for political mischief. Very vindictive government, and they're greedy. Obviously, they're not consulting with the old NDC. They make a retirement party for them. And they're using very insulting and demeaning language to refer to the opponent. A disaster struck. They're panicking. 4 days before the disaster struck, they say they can't pay bills. They don't know whether the disaster is going to destroy us or not. 4 days before the disaster struck, the government already take the decision not to pay. It's like a man using any excuse he could get not to pay the rum shop. These individuals are recklessly incompetent. They will not accept ideas from people like me or those on social media. They're bitter. It's sad and unfortunate. We have to hope that the destruction done by NDC don't cause us to lose decades. Their own Minister of Legal Affairs say we're going to have serious problem. Irreparable damage will be done to the economy. The disciplinary measures taken by the previous government to put in the economy because we have a track record of not being disciplined. So the government legislate discipline. The International Monetary Fund and all other financial institutions agreed. The government is dismantling the disciplinary procedure put in place. And we don't hear a hue and cry from the trade union in particular. Sad. The legislation, the rules, the regulation that was established for GDB Bank in 1973, the government is violating it with impunity. We have to hope and pray and continue to lobby strongly so the government don't destroy the economy. They don't sell the electricity company and Nawasa. The rate they go in there. When they see money, they're getting excited. They're traveling as if them is little children that don't have sense. And the ministers are preoccupied with making statements on social media that doesn't make any depth, that do not have depth. So we're in a sad situation, my brother. One hope and pray that ultimately the farmers get the money. Because the government don't have a project, they don't have ideas how to develop agriculture. Remember, that is the worst group ever in agriculture. According to the man, rich, they fired 31 workers on Grand Bay Estate. Well, they take back 20 now. 19 of them, they say, was NDC. So that is the government we have. A government that want to lend green neck truck to pick mango is an embarrassment to this country. So the farmers have to see if they could get your money. Go to the agriculture office. Go to wherever they tell you go. And bring in you NIS card. If you don't have one, go and take out one. Bring in your farmer's card. I think that way, and your bank account number. If you don't have a bank account, go and open an account. And that again is trouble. You know, easy to open an account in Grenada. If you don't have an account, it's a headache to open an account. But go and open an account. That is what they say. And see if you could get the $4,500 if you have 5 acres of land and less. And the $9,500 if you have 5 acres of land and above. Try that, Papa. And then see what you could do. This is the worst group where agriculture is concerned. And with this in mind, it is even more important that we concern about our children. Your children going to school, bless your children before they leave in the morning. Pray for them and bless them. Ask the gods of gods to protect them. Send your boys to church. It's not whether they go to hell or heaven. You're trying to get them to be more disciplined. Our boys out of order. They're disrespectful, they're ill-mannered, they cussing wind, and they do bright. The education system use some more acceptable and palatable words now. That you're not academically inclined. When they say that, they mean you don't. After our boys go to school for 13 years and a half, they're struggling to get a job because they don't have skills and talents. And remember, when you pour, you expose. The government is not addressing these issues. Instead, the government want to expand the models. They want to build more models. They want to expand the prison. They want to build bigger jail. And they're passing draconian laws. So if a young man is found with a gun, give him a life sentence. 40 years in jail. And if he go in front, judge 1,000 years. Hallelujah, Bungie. Because they say judge 1,000 years don't like man. So anytime you reach in front of her, she have a special wrath for the male race. If your child do not have a proper education, the possibility that they ending up in front judge 1,000 years is greater. So you, the parents, must ensure that your children are well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristic that gives them the competitive edge. It's you that make a child. The child was in your belly long. Years you take to make them, to grow them up. Not the man, forget the man. You women have to be hungry for education. You have to want it bad. You have to want education bad for your children. And later on in life, the children like the mother more anyway. So some man don't care. We have to do better. This government, don't expect this government to help. That is the worst government that we have ever had since 1967. We have to face reality. You know. It makes no sense you're functioning and you don't face in reality. We have to face reality. It is not easy for a parent to have children and your children are struggling for a job and jobs are available, but your children cannot do the jobs that are available. They can't access it. They don't have the skill sets. And as a result, they get angry. By the time they're 18, 19 years, they're very angry because they realize jobs are available, but I don't have the skill set. The previous government introduced a program to give them a second chance to get this skill set, but this government is not interested in it. So you find too much of our boys are involved in smaller petty gamble. They involve in aggressive behavior, which can lead to violence and hospitalization or even death. They're robbing the farmer's source up as if it's a joke. They're extremely disrespectful. So you have to ask yourself the question, what is going to happen to them by the time they reach 40 or 50? They may have to go to a home. You see, a previous government came in and said, let us build houses to give them a sense of dignity. Let us build houses for them. This government said, no, we ain't giving them no house. So the government take the house away from them. They don't have hope. This government does not realize that when a man don't have hope, he's a dangerous man. When people's survival is threatened, the moral code of ethics deteriorate. Individual 25, 30 years, unable to get a proper job on the market, don't have collateral, you don't have land or house or shares. The bank is not interested in him. The credit union don't want to see him. The financial institutions is not interested in him. And he's more likely to lose his girlfriend because man is a hunter. Another man there on the side and he watching him. He realized when he analyzed the girl man, there is no hope for her. So all you have to do is to continue to nurture and encourage her in the right direction. The man become more angry. When you have many like that in the society, then you're more likely to have more violence, more hatred, more bitterness, more anger. And to add insult to injury, you have a government that establishes vengeance, restorative justice. We need to be aware. We can't close the eyes. Particularly if you are poor. Particularly if you come from the lower income group. If you are a rich person inside, you could bail out your children. You could buy them a house, you could encourage women to stay with them. If you poor, Jumbie take you. There is no hope. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yes, scholar, go right ahead.
Good. Right, thank you. Mr. Pierre, I think a notice should be put in the marketplace in Grenada, in the shops nowadays. But when you enter in here, you better have a good heart. Because I almost had a heart attack on Saturday evening when I went to the shop to see the rice that was sold for $4 and maybe about 10 cents or so sometime, has gone up to $7. A rice that is just over a pound in the package to $7. People are complaining that you have in the marketplace in this country produce that you're getting from usually $3 a pound, maybe $2 a pound, has now gone up to $5 and $7 and $8 and $10 a pound and so on. That is absolute madness. As much as you hear, there are some things that are not price control. Government need to step in and do something about it. Not just have prominent secretaries, for example, talking to people about it, talking to the news and so on, or the people, the journalists and so on. We need to have a talk with people's conscience, although maybe you could say, well, the Prime Minister don't care about conscience because you say morality is a private thing. So whatever your conscience tell you, or whatever you decide to make up as your conscience, you could get over with it. But there's morals, there is principle, there are principles, and there are ways of being reasonable. And we seem to be losing that completely in this country right now. Something is wrong somewhere that government need to step in and do a check and balance on. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to just go crazy. Because when you made the point earlier on about where there is no hope, what on earth you expect to happen? Chaos and anarchy that would reign in society easily because people become confused. But at the same time, let me point out something. I had a conversation with 4 guys last night. And it's so amazing that 3 of them are very close relatives. I say very close. Real close relative of one of the ministers of government. And people are not being blinded in this country. And this is not an issue of which political party you support. In the conversation, it's obvious that the guys and them are seeing the things that are happening in this country for what it is worth, and not from a political party point of view. That the government, the Prime Minister in particular, the Minister of Finance, as another one, are just out of whack with the reality of this country. And they don't know what they're doing. That's the conclusion of the conversation. I'm telling you that. Similar words like I just used to describe the Prime Minister, one of them was using similar words. So don't think that there isn't a little hope when it comes to that. People are saying what is going on. People are taking note. People are making sense of it. There are people who are doing it. And there will be a rude awakening if this government continue to, on that track, continue to think that they could get away with a whole lot of nonsense that is going on. And if they don't put their foot into helping the people to be balanced, so that the confusion that seems to be reigning now would be mitigated, we are in serious trouble going forward. That government need to wake up. Take care, sir.
Yes, and it is sad. I don't believe they could wake up. This government is solely responsible for the rising cost of living. Since in the days of Gary, the politician knew it was absolutely necessary to keep the price of the basic commodities reachable to the poor man. Down. In those days, we had open button closer play galore. So in a crisis, we had open button closer play. First thing in the morning, last thing in the night. Breadfoot was headmaster in Jericho. Every government come in, the revolution come in and understand that basic prices must be done so that the average man could eat and survive with dignity. We don't have winter in Grenada, so clothes is not a big problem. This government came in and raised the price of sugar and raised the price of water and raised the price of electricity. That is an economic crime. That is a political stab in the back. They never told people that they was going to do that. Then they went in and decided to grab money for themselves. So as an excuse, as a subterfuge, as a distraction, they raised the minimum wage. Well, if you raise the minimum wage that the farmers was paying from $40, $45 to $60 a day, you raise the cost of sugar, water, and electricity. You fired 3,000 people from the job market. You cut the social programs. You remove $150 from the elderly and the physically challenged. You take money from disadvantaged children. Some of them had to drop out from school. You decide to cut the road work that was providing millions of dollars in the economy. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, welcome.
Yes. Mr. Pierre, I want to go back a little, historically, just to, support what you've been saying about the low-income bracket people and the suffering, and the hurting. Now, the two parties that I know love and make special mention and programs for the low-income bracket people and all the people is the Grenada United Labour Party and the NMP Party. I want to speak about the women. In Sir Eric, in GLP, we had 3 women, if my memory serves me right, you could correct me. We had Waple Ned, Nadia Benjamin, and Cynthia Gary. And they all had worked with the Grenada United Labour Party and government to put programs in place to help the less fortunate people. Then come the New National Party with Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell. The same policies, more or less. And then you had approximately over the years, not one MP, similar like Gary. We had Lorena Waldron. Yes. We had Grace Duncan and number of female senators. Yes. And then we go on. When we won 15 seats in 99, we had approximately 7 women in the parliament. Yeah. So you got to say almost 50%. Yeah. And they sat down and put programs and policies in place for our people, especially the women of this country and the families. And then the list goes on. When you 2013 and 18, the similar trend, because that's the policy of the NNP, led by the visionary leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell. So when you really look at it today, we're going to see whose party and which party that stand especially for the women in our country. Yes? The records are there. Not only the women, the youth. And you look at the amount of money placed in social services and youth development, as you've been speaking about. And with that, I want to congratulate the NNP Women's Arm and the party and Dr. Kit Mitchell, for hosting that forum, political forum at St. John's yesterday, in particular, Guelph. And I want to tell you, Mr. Pierre, there were 3 of the female parliamentarians. They were really, really joy unspeakable listening to them and speaking to the audience. And with one of the sister parties in St. Lucia, Senator Angelina is her name, I think. And she really, really expounded the words to the people, and in particular a political leader that gave the charge. So, Mr. Pierre, when you really look at it, the new National Party continues to work with the people and to point out they're in opposition, but they're pointing out. And that's the right, because they're in parliament. Parliament is opposition and government in parliament. And the level of maturity must be there to listen both sides, and even in the communities, because that's what democracy is all about. So, I urge the NDC, don't bully, don't victimize, because we all have that rightful place in society to work and care for our people. So, Mr. Pierre, hats off to the women yesterday, the NNP women, the young women, seniors, and so on. Everybody, they came out and had a splendid time yesterday. Thank you, Mr. Pierre. Have a good day.
Yes, scholar. Women is a powerful force in our society. Grenada have taken the lead in equal rights and women having sane decision making way back when, as the color say in Gary days. The revolution continued with it, and the NNP party has led the way. And 40 years is a long time, and I would like to see the NNP party as 40 years celebration make some permanent features, permanent situations in their political party. I think that is important. But as the gentleman spoke about the the government of the day is single-handedly responsible for the upsurge in the economy. The government is not paying some health workers basic pay. That government is reckless and incompetent. You set a minimum wage. You say minimum $1,200 a month, $60 a day. You're not paying $60 a day to a lot of people, and you're not paying $1,200 a month to a lot of individuals. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, good day.
Yeah.
Why this women and them hate men so much?
They don't hate men, man.
They
That's not
hate
true.
man.
No, woman don't hate man.
That's a
I don't agree with you on that at all. A woman like man as what?
Them woman, they put their hate you against
They don't hate man, they like man. They
As
expect
though
the
men
man to make the first move.
as though men are supposed to survive in them. All they talk about woman rights, woman this, woman that. They look up man in the
Well, they want some more right to beat up some man. Some man needs some rush. They're doing stupidness. But woman don't hate man. Woman want man.
Well, if you hear they talk, everything is about man this, man that.
Well, who you want them to talk about woman? Man they talking about. They want more authority.
Anyhow, I hear this woman talk about Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle walk out of parliament. He had the right to speak. You talk about want to take a right from people. He give up his right to speak in parliament of this country. I go and talk nonsense all about the place. Yeah, he could have speak for 2 hours, 1 hour a day. Each one of them, he just traveled on them. And you see Peter David is no leader. Peter David is a waste of time. Keep me there have like a puppet on a string. Anytime keep me there say jump, he jumping. I don't know how the hell he could be a leader. Mr. Pierre, if I were Peter David, I would have leave the damn party and go from my next party. Mr. Pierre, you have a good day.
Yes, sir. Well, a lot of members of the NNP or the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, they want to sow discord in the NNP, and nothing is wrong with that. Peter David is a boss. So the NDC members will like Peter David and NNP to break up. Remember, the NDC threw out Peter David. They expel him. They expelled Chester Humphrey. They expelled 10 people one time. They expelled Kenny Larson from the party. The NDC always expelling people and call them traitor. That is why Black Wizards say, inside NDC, full of NNP. And that is why the NNP must be inclusive, tolerant, and all-encompassing, because you have a lot of members in NDC. The NDC would like to see friction in NNP. They don't want to see unity. They're afraid unity. And I write to them. I write to the NDC. Bearing in mind that this NNP party beat up NDC on 3 occasions and win all the seats, NDC right to sow discord. I don't think they're going to succeed because the party looked united. Bearing in mind that you could have bruises in the party, but I believe NNP party could survive bruises. And that means, based upon what NDC do we know, in the next election, if they don't make dramatic change, they could be in opposition for a good while. And I want to help them to make dramatic change. That way, like now I'm going to ask the question. You have 100 house unit in Carriacou. What is the justification? What is the reason you're not giving these housing unit, even if it is temporarily for 6 months, to shelter the people who are exposed to the forces of the weather for 6 months? while you come up with your master plan. You have 100 house unit in Carrico. Please, it was built for people in the lower income group. It was not built for people who could face the financial institution. There is a lot of people in Grenada, even if they're living on land, they don't have freehold. The land are theirs. His grandmother land. And grandmother leave the land. They had a policy from generation to generation. So nobody can put you out. But the bank wouldn't give you no loan on it. You don't have freehold. So why not build 16 by 16 houses for the people? You have a hurricane. You got over $100 million. Well, why not take 10.5 million and buy lumber, buy just the frame, wooden frame. Tell the people, box it around with what you could. Box it around with what you could. Box it around with what you could. Use what you could to whether it is ply, whether it's old galvanized, whether it's bamboo, whether it's plastic. But at least you have a good solid frame with a roof. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Something people need to understand in life. And the Almighty had pointed out to that kind of a thing for us to understand. Ungratefulness is worse than witchcraft.
Yes, worse than Obia.
Ungratefulness is such a level of cost that no matter how much you strive or much you try to present a good picture or a nice picture to fool people's head, it always turns and kick you in the end. Let me point out something to you. The former chairman of the party, NDC party, who was expelled on the day when he entered the convention, when they expelled the whole set of guys at that time, some of them knew what was going to happen before the convention day. So they refrained from going there at all. But he was the chairman of the party at the time. He was not given notice. So he went to the party convention. And at the very moment, they embarrassed him, kicked him out of the room. That man spoke to me after that. And he said to me, he spent over $300,000 to put NDC in power in 2008. And that's how they treated him. One of the main men, a businessman in Grenada, who died recently, my good friend, we grew up together basically. He was the main sponsor of NDC party. They kicked him out of the party at the time too. He grew up in River Sally. I knew him as a brother. A leading stalwart who helped form, he used to be a minister, who helped form the NDC party, said to me some time ago that before these guys and them came into power, they by him all the time, seeking advice and direction. From the time they come into power, they'll forget if he exists. It's just a matter of time. Ungratefulness is
worse than Obia.
Evil that worse than witchcraft. And the Prime Minister himself believed in witchcraft anyway. This is why they went and invoked
Dabble with their cult.
Moise Bishop party and Moise Bishop spirit, in Montrouge Pasteur. But people don't understand the significance of that. I've emphasized it a whole lot during the time. People don't understand the significance of what is going on in this country and who is in charge of this country's future right now when it comes to that. So when the Prime Minister said that morality is a private thing and that church and state has been separated And that these two statements came in one paragraph, one sentence, as you might say it. Church and state has been separated a long time ago, and morality is a private thing. Check on what that means, and you'll see the direction this country will be going. Is going and would end up in at the same time too. Take care, sir.
Yes, Colin. The only thing they're causing great fracture into this country, the division that the NDC is living, it seems that they also cause great tar in the economy because they doesn't seem to be convinced what to do. So they're reckless and incompetent. Yes, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the opposition leader from the NMP already made a statement which he says that nobody don't dare challenge him for the opposition to be the opposition leader. I think that's not a good statement to make. You know what I mean? I think it should be open that Pierre, Bordes, Peter David, if anyone want to run for the opposition to be the leader, they shouldn't tackle up doing that. He shouldn't make that statement because the NMP brand is bigger than one man. If they fit that somebody else want to emerge and be the leader, so be it. I mean, you can't just make this kind of statement thinking, the way you have it, you have it in a way like, I the boss here, and when I'm ready, I leave. No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be, whoever merged from, they have a vote, and whoever merged from it, they be the leader, and everybody unite to lead to everybody unite after that to lead the party. It is not a one-man thing, It's not a way that this one man had to pick somebody themselves. Okay, I pick you. No, it's not supposed to be that. Hand-pick people to be the leader. No, sir. It's not supposed to be that. So I think that's not a right move that he make with the statement that he's saying. All right, man.
I'm in full agreement with your caller, and within the ranks of the leadership of the NNP, all of them, anyone who evolve as a leader will do a better job than Dickman. So when the NNP have the convention, it must be open. And who want to run. And who win. And the convention and the election must be free and fair. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Go right ahead,
I listened to Dr. Mitchell last night. What the caller is saying there, he just take one bit of thing what Dr. Mitchell was saying, and he's stretching it. What Dr. Mitchell was saying, talking about anybody want to come and in the party want to challenge him and he don't go in no way. That's not what he was saying. If you listen to the speech, Dr. Mitchell already declared that he will move on, but he will always be wrong. That's why he's saying not going anywhere in the sense, but he will give up the leadership whenever the convention call. He would not be competent for leadership. This man who listening there, if he was listening, he'd have understood what the man is saying. And that's all I got to say at this time.
Okay, caller.
Have a good day.
And one have to understand. You have a call on the line? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Mr. Pierre, did you listen to the full speech of Dr. Mitchell?
No. Didn't.
Oh, okay. When you get a time, I realize that
I'll go and listen to it when I get a
we
chance.
almost run out of time.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the speech yesterday, in the content of what the man was talking about, he had leadership problem, and it's like people fighting for leader.
No, there is
like
no
in the
fight.
NNP,
There's
they
no
fighting
fight,
for
yeah.
leader. So the content of what the man was speaking about is like nobody not stupid enough to come and challenge me for leadership. In terms that it was a message he was trying to send up there that there is no problem for leadership in the party, and when he ready, not in a long distant future from now, the delegation, the party, the NNP party, have a constitution which says the delegation could elected people can challenge the leadership of the party. When I say in terms of inner convention, and the delegation have the right to vote on it. Now let me check the NDC constitution. The NDC constitution says that you cannot challenge the leadership.
While
So
there
which
is
one
prime minister. While the prime minister.
Right. While there is prime minister.
But
why
in
you cannot
NNP, you could
leadership while
challenge
there
the
is prime
leader
minister?
while the prime minister.
Exactly. So in a term that what the man is saying, that there is no leadership problem within the party, and we have to understand that. So when we're listening, we have to listen to what a man said in context. Yeah, and
but you know, in politics that don't happen. People don't listen in
so
context.
that is why when you, so therefore why we know have to, why we know, why the people want to turn it out of context, we have to put it in context.
Yes, and
so
that is why
I ask you,
and that is why you
and listen to it.
And that is why you make the statement that when a convention comes, the party, based upon the party rules and regulation, as I hear from outside, not inside, anybody who is qualified could run. So that would kind of sum up.
Exactly.
Yes,
because I was a delegation in party before. I sit in a convention, so I know the procedure.
Yes, Father, thank you very much. And as we go back and say, and just to go over some of the main points as we round up. Parents, women in particular, bless your children. Pray for your children when they live in the household. Bless them. Rest your hand on their head. Bless them. It's your child. You have 4. Bless them. Pray for them. Don't give up on your children. Send your children to church. You believe in God. Forget about whether they go in hell or heaven. That's not important. Send them to church. They're too disrespectful. Let them interested in compassion. You don't want them to behave like Deacon and go and dabble in their cult and take money from old people. Let them have respect. Let them grow up having respect for the elderly. You mustn't let prosperity blunt your edge of gratitude. So as soon as the children graduate, they have no respect again for the village or the parents. We could do better. Remember, the majority of children in prison, in the mental institute, and those looking for a job did not have a good education. Teach your children music as early as possible. It's your children. And pray for the NDC to have a soft heart so that the 100-house unit in Kareku, they will give it to the worst case scenario in Kareku, even if it is for just 6 months. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1, and you have another opportunity to punch.